just taking a quick look at this Allpowers R1500. So this is an all-new model from Allpowers, and interesting too, it's a new entry into this very popular size class where basically we combine a not so large battery with a large inverter, right? So 1800 watts, that's, standard wall outlet is 15 amp, 1800 watts. So that's, if you have that in a power station, you're going to be able to power almost anything. And then, 1152 watt hours, you might say, well, that's not that great, but guess what? It's going to keep the size and weight down, right? So that means we have portability combined with capability. And then kind of the big thing that makes this product so appealing is you're getting that with this price, right? Note that coupon there. So this is actually an incredible thing, almost like the holy grail of power stations, right? So we get the price, portability, and capability all in one unit. So, it's almost like you can have your cake and eat it too, right? So, so let's talk about the specs here. It is an LFP battery, of course, 3,500 life cycles, and they do claim, 1152 watt hours. So that's interesting because that's exactly the same as the Bluetti AC180, right? The regular AC180. So to me, I'd be willing to bet actually that they're probably using the same cells. And so this is interesting because this is cheaper, right? And then, we do get the app, right? So there is the app. Now it's going to be very limited, very basic. I mean, it's basically like you can turn things on, you can turn things off. That's about it, right? If you want something that gives you a little bit more control, a little bit more customization, yes, something like Bluetti will give you a little bit more, but really if you want to just do a lot, you want to tweak a lot of settings, go for EcoFlow, right? Now, you're going to have to pay a lot more. I get that, but, this is the thing. This unit, this is going to give you everything you want to do at a budget price, right? So, there's going to be pros and cons here. Now, just to kind of talk about the specs, let's talk about the charging. It's fantastic, really. I mean, it's pretty good. So 1,500 watts is the fastest you can do from the wall, but they do have 3 modes, so I wouldn't recommend always charging it as fast as possible, especially, 1,500 watts and 1152 watt hours. That's like a 1.3 C, something like that, like way over 1 C rate. So even with LFP batteries, you don't really want to do that. But if you need to, if it's an emergency situation or something, you need to charge it up fast, there's the option. That's what's nice. Otherwise, I would just recommend doing the 1,000 watts. That's still very fast, right? That's still going to be almost an hour. And then they do have this mute mode. So, the other modes, the fans are going to be going, when it's charging, the fans are going to be on. So that could be annoying. 400 watts, they're saying it will charge without any fan noise. Okay, so let's move over to the solar. It's actually pretty good, 650 watts. It's using an XT60, and the thing to note is, yes, it's just using the standard, 60 volt max that most of the power stations in the size class offer. But the thing is, it is 13 amps, so it's not 10 amps, 13 amps. So it's very usable with solar. It's very usable. Now you're going to get like 15 amps from EcoFlow, from Anchor, right? So you'd get a little bit more there. You'd also get a higher input cap of around 800 watts if you went something with Jackery or Grow Watt. So, but still, it's very good. And like I said, it's interesting that it's actually better than Bluetti. And we do get UPS. So they're saying 15 milliseconds. That's actually a very good spec. It should work. So basically, if you got the power station plugged into the wall and then you're outputting with the inverter, it'll just pass that power through to whatever you're powering. It won't be using the battery. But if the power goes out, then it'll switch over to the battery. So, that's obviously can be very handy, especially if you live somewhere with frequent power outages, right? That can be handy. And then, or also maybe just, even if you don't, if there's like a bad storm coming, right? Now to talk about the design here real quick, this new design from Allpowers actually debuted with the R600, and this is just a bigger version, right? And they've even got R2500, and they did announce a R3500 on, or they launched it on Kickstarter or something like that, but I think it was just a disaster. I think they had problems with it. I don't know the full scoop on that. So if anybody knows, just put that in the comments below. But this is the one downside with Allpowers. You're saying to yourself, why is it so much cheaper? There might be a reason. But that said, there are people that are happy with their Allpowers. It's almost it's almost like a gamble, right? Really, it's almost like a gamble. So, but at this price, it might be worth the gamble, right? And I would just say, I just hope that they make this a solid product. I mean, at this point, a lot of the components that these things are made of, they're probably, as I mentioned, like the batteries already, a lot of the components, they're probably using the same components from the same suppliers as some of the other brands, right? The more reliable brands. So I don't know. It shouldn't be that hard to get this right. I mean, like I said, this power station market is like really starting to mature. Obviously the specs here is everything that we want, everything that you could want in a power station, right? This thing's got it. So, there's no reason it shouldn't be reliable as well, but that's just, something to note with Allpowers, right? But so, yeah, I was talking about the design. So yeah, the case is like this. It's almost like this warm silver. It's kind of interesting. It's not, silver, but, it is kind of a nice design how it wraps around, and then there's black, in the middle. Everything as far as output ports is on the front, which I like to see. The charging's on the side here, just this little door. And we do get the screen that debuted on the R600 as well. Now, it's a very nice screen, high contrast. It's got all the information, in and out, time remaining, everything you could want on a screen. So no complaints there. We do get all the USB you could want as well. 2 100-watt USB-Cs and then 2 quick charge USB-As. And then, if that's not enough for you, guess what? There's actually 2 wireless chargers on top. So, and then, as far as just little design details, there's not a whole lot, about this unit that's exciting. But I guess you could say the one thing I do like is on the vents here. It's kind of hard to see in this image, but on the vents here, there's like green accents. In fact, I think these actually light up green too. You probably won't see them during the day, but because all the buttons and stuff light up green, there are some green accents there. I think they do show it a little bit better. Yeah, here in this image. So that's, that's kind of cool actually. And, it's like the electricity is kind of like flowing, you know what I mean? So it's kind of a cool little detail that they have there. The rest of the case, I do like too that we get the handles tucked into the side of the unit, right? So there's it's not sticking out anywhere. It's not sticking up, it's not sticking out, and it's a nice solid handle, and you're just not going to notice it most of the time either. So that's just a quick overview of the Allpowers R1500. Hopefully you found this interesting and helpful, and yeah, thanks for watching.